Welcome to my first ever rebuild on Football Manager 2024. This is Saving Schalke. This team, currently in Bundesliga 2, is a 7-time Bundesliga winner, 1-time UEFA Europa League winner, 5-time DFB Pokal, and 3 times Bundesliga 2 winner. A lot of the titles came kind of back in the kind of 30s, late 50s. UEFA Europa League 1997, last DFB Pokal back in 2011. So it's been a while since this team's kind of tasted success, but looking at the size of the club in Bundesliga 2, it's crazy. I mean, a huge club. I think I've read somewhere 4th highest kind of memberships in world football, I believe. 111,000 memberships, 62,000 capacity stadium. It's just crazy that this kind of club's in Bundesliga 2 and kind of not challenging for titles in kind of the Bundesliga itself. So our plan is to bring Schalke back into the Bundesliga, hopefully win the league, certainly win a domestic cup, and hopefully challenging for another European title to add to the one that they've already got. Certainly not going to be easy. A lot of problems at the club looking at finances, debts and loans, 156 million net debt, 385 million transfer debt, negative 100 million in the overall balance, 0 transfer budget, only 10% of transfer revenue is going to be made available if we do decide to sell anyone, move anyone on. 411,000 with the wage budget, but we're already spending 390. So looks like we'll have to get rid of a few players possibly to kind of make some space, certainly in the wage budget, maybe bring some loans in. But one thing that is going for us is Schalke's kind of youth academy. Obviously world renowned for producing top German talent. And what I'll probably do as well is in this series, my first rebuild, I'll probably guide you through what I tend to do when I set up a new save. It's not a how-to, it's just kind of a how I do. A lot of people play the game differently. Some people like to go kind of all in and micromanage every little thing. Some people like to do a lot less and skip through the seasons. I think I'm probably somewhere in the middle. So when I tend to start a new save, first thing obviously I always do is have a little look at club info, get an idea of kind of what I'm working with. You see there, got some kind of good players at the club. Simon Terode, young talent. Our best one that's been picked out here is Asan Udrego. Obviously well known, kind of wonder kid. If you've been playing FM for the past kind of couple of years, you'll have known about this kid already. Massive talent, certainly someone that I'll be bringing to the first team very early. Possibly someone we can develop, hopefully sell him for a lot of money if we're short on money. We need to raise some funds, but ideally kind of young talent you can probably build a team around, certainly if you get to the Bundesliga, kind of moving on from there. So what I like to do, first things first, is sort out my staff, kind of what I expect them to do, what I want them to do, what I don't want to do. So what responsibilities, and I'll just scroll down and I'll just change certain things. Certainly one thing I normally do is probably true to life as well, is I don't want to mess around recruiting my own under 19 staff. Sometimes I do if I'm in lower leagues and I want to kind of control the money a little bit more. But if I have a good kind of director of football or technical manager, maybe I think they're called, I tend to let them kind of deal with that. Certainly if they have good stats, good kind of staff recruitment, I'll let them kind of deal with all this stuff, and I tend to find that they can bring in good coaches to undersee my under 19s and under 23s or kind of B teams kind of playing in Europe. So that looks okay there now. I'll leave them to it. I may kind of look at the manager and obviously make sure you've got a good manager in place with a good personality maybe, but moment in time, first season, I tend to just get the feel, see what stuff I've got, don't go too crazy. Scouting, I tend to do my own scouting, so I will take control of that. As we go through the series, I'll probably try and show you how I do certain things. I've said in previous videos, I've done a training one last week. I'm not an expert, there's probably people who know a lot more than me, but I know what I like to do and how to do certain things, and it tends to work for me. So you can see if you get anything from it, that's great. That's why we're kind of doing these videos for. So I'll just confirm that. Media, tend not to do this. I tend to do the new signings. I think it gives them a bit of a morale boost. I think I'm maybe not, but they all seem to get a little happy when I do a kind of a new signing press conference. But the rest of them, like I say, it's just, for me, offers nothing. It's something I wish they would change on the game, but I think that may be a couple of years away. Hopefully next year, 2025. But yeah, next one, training. Always receive kind of training updates and always take control of training. Like I've said there, if you watch my previous video on training, gives you some kind of good, or I believe good tips for setting your training programs up. And yeah, like I say, just to briefly want to develop youth, and which I think we'll have to do with Schalke. You certainly should be looking at maybe doing your own training. But like I say, I've said before, each to their own. People have their own way of playing. Some people like to just leave everything to others, to the backroom staff, and kind of get through the seasons. But this is an area I like to get involved with. Tactics, the game, I do everything. Apart from the under-19s, obviously, it tends to kind of emulate what you do in the first team anyway. So the players come through kind of playing that the way you want to play. Match, I do take friendlies off. I don't want the backroom staff kind of managing my friendlies. I'll show you why in pre-season, or certainly if you look at the training video, you'll see why. With a heavy pre-season, I like to set up, play one match on a Saturday, and obviously I don't want my kind of backroom staff arranging friendlies on a Tuesday or Wednesday and kind of causing injuries to my players. So I always have a quick look at my development centre. As you can see, Hassan Udrigo, excuse me pronunciation, can I say that? So I'll probably send him up to the, I know how good he is. I'm aware he's going to be a massive talent. I think get him in this league, get some game time, great for his development, and obviously kind of going into hopefully the Bundesliga with him, and build a kind of a team around these kind of players. Again, we have Jean-Paul Ndai. Looking at him, he's going to be obviously a huge talent. Still a lot of work to do. I'm not sure if I'll be bringing him up at this point yet, but we'll see how he gets on in the under-19s before I bring him up. Vitaly Becker, looks like another really good left back. Actually, some good stats there, good solid ones early on. The areas I like to see: acceleration, pace, good crossing. Certainly something you can probably work with as well. At 18 years old, again, I think I'll probably bring him up to the first team squad. Certainly with the formation I'm planning on playing, I think having the extra kind of wing backs will be good. And he will get game time. KK Top, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his first name, but like, see if anyone knows how to pronounce it properly, by all means drop me a comment there and let me know how I should be pronouncing that. But yeah, again, looks like quite a good solid striker, 6'4". Certainly seems to be, I think, what they call the meta in this FM 2024. Good jump and reach, decent heading, good strength. Could do a bit more pace for me, but I've got to say, formation I'm playing, I can see him kind of coming in handy and certainly getting some game time. So again, I think I'll bring him up to the squad, I think. But I think that's probably maybe it for now. Goalkeeper might not be a bad one to bring up. Justin Hikaren, that's how you pronounce his name. I'm going to get exposed here for my terrible pronunciations, but yeah, I think that's maybe it for now. I think I may keep an eye on a few of these as the season goes on, see if I'm bringing a few, see how injuries go. Feels fairly good player. Certainly has some mid-range kind of stats here we can probably work with, but yeah, I think that's probably it for now, and I think we'll see how the season progresses. So looking at the club vision, it's what the board expect me to do. Break even in the transfer market. Well, don't think we do many transfers, to be honest. Work within the wage budget. I think we can manage that. Certainly have to offload maybe one or two players. Hopefully keep a few of the kind of the better ones. Maybe get rid of the deadwood. Gain automatic promotion to the Bundesliga. Be competitive in the DFB Pokal. Work towards becoming self-sustainable. In other words, get rid of that massive debt. So yeah, I think it's fairly achievable. We may have the squad to get out of this league, but see, I don't think it's going to be easy. But we'll certainly give it a good go. So looking at our squad, fairly balanced squad, some good players in there. Some of the better ones there, Schallenberg, decent midfielder, certainly for this level. Just looking at a few there. Muller in goal, good at one-on-ones, 6'4", good aerial reach. Not looking too bad. Game, quite a lot of dead wood there though. I think looking at that, I think that's kind of, see obviously a few kind of players in demand. Maybe get rid of offload some of the maybe the older players. Drexler, not a bad player for this league, maybe a 33. Maybe couldn't do it in the Bundesliga, but if we get a season out of him or move him on, see what happens. Game, you notice there, my kind of squad view, work the space. I'm sure you, obviously if you played FM long enough, you'll have seen work the space as kind of YouTube's. Our views is kind of his view for 2 or 3 years now, I can't remember, but so I won't go too much into detail on this, and we'll tactic wise, I've gone for a 4-4-2 diamond narrow. Seem to have a kind of a lack of attacking midfielders on either wing. I mean, certainly some are in demand, so I was looking to get rid of them anyway. They're probably the players I look to offload. A lot of them play kind of centrally, but kind of can play there, but you know, kind of accomplished. But I can see if I get rid of a few of these and kind of reinvest maybe elsewhere, although the lack of kind of budget getting reinvested, again I'll probably bring some youth players up, certainly in this league. They'll get some benefit of good game time, hopefully going into the Bundesliga if things go well and we get promoted. So yeah, I may shift these around, certainly the midfield. I'm not sure this is how I'm going to set up fully, but I've initially set up my positions. Super keeper on defend, certainly on 2 wing backs on attack. They're going to be doing the majority of the running up and down their wings. May change a few of these PIs, and I'll probably show you before we start the season if I've changed anything. I think a ball winning midfielder right there, just kind of in front of the back two, kind of stop anyone kind of hopefully breaking through, close them balls down quickly, and then obviously get forward as quickly as possible. Got 2 box-to-boxes in the middle there. I may look to kind of change one of them. Ideally I'd love a kind of a Mazzala or somewhere kind of run into these channels, supporting the wing back, but both of these guys probably aren't suited for that role. Very much a kind of hard working central midfielder. Both of them exactly the same really. Great to have, probably good engines in midfield, and I may stick with 2 box-to-box midfielders. Kind of maybe get them to kind of stay wider, try and support them kind of wing backs. Obviously with an attack midfielder then 2 strikers. You know, hopefully if I can get them to kind of come up this way, support the kind of wing backs bombing on, and hopefully we'll have something kind of like this for them to maybe cut back and throw balls back in, but we'll see how the tactic plays out. And again on this side as well, maybe something similar if I can get them to kind of pop into these channels, just offer that a little bit more for the wing backs. But again, a good striker into road, getting on a bit now with 35, but jumping reach 16, heading 17. He will be my target forward. So we kind of better pronounce that Owian. Kind of crossing of 16. Not great pace. Heading towards his kind of highlight years, but if I can keep hold of him, although there's interest in him at the moment, you know, kind of having him kind of whipping balls into the box for Tarode, hopefully cause problems on this side. I can maybe have this as a more defensive one, have this guy as a more of an attacking one, support this wing back who, to be honest, slightly weaker than Uween on the left, but again, probably maybe look to bring in kind of a younger kind of right back from the youth setup if I've got one who's good enough. Kind of bring him in while I've got the chance. Seem to be short on right backs actually, so that might be something I'll have to focus on. But yeah, so that's the initial shape and kind of tactic I'll be going for. Kind of team instructions here, attacking with fairly wide, focus play through the middle as you'd expect with a packed midfield, play out of defence, shorter passing, higher tempo. As you can see there, counter press, counter attack, distribute quickly and get that ball up the pitch. Get it to the wing backs if we can and cause problems. Distribute across the back line, take short kicks, Going for higher press, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, trigger press more often, stand a defensive line and get stuck in. May change that if I'm getting too many kind of red and yellow cards, and maybe just focus on individual instructions to tackle harder. But we'll see again, we'll see how it goes and then we'll adjust. So again, something else I always do before I start the season. This is all kind of day one for me, before I even kind of inbox all the way through and kind of start kind of the season, if you like. I always kind of get all this done, get it out of the way, set the foundations if you like, and hopefully makes things kind of a lot easier. Always go through individual training and start from scratch all the way through. Make sure all that's done. Make sure someone's doing something. Kind of never ever do I not have kind of a properly assigned kind of individual training role. You see so much better development. Don't just rely on this. So what I'll do is I'll go through the first team, all the way through the under-19s and all through the under-21s, doing the individual training. At the start of the season, I don't do any additional focuses. I mentioned that in my last video over training. Keep it simple, keep it normal intensity, make sure that's on auto, and like I said, make sure everyone has something assigned, and then when the season starts, I'll start dropping in additional focuses, things like that. But for the time being, just leave that off. You may have seen this on other videos. If you play this long enough, you probably do this anyway. But for those who are new to the game, it's something that you may not be aware of, and it's a good little thing to have. Like I say, each to their own, people play it their own way. It's just how I do it. So intensity-wise training, all I do is just change that to double intensity. If they're fully fit, I want them training as hard as they can. And again, I do that with the under-19s, with the second team, with the under-23s in England. And the next thing I do with training, units. I like all my wing backs to be attacking. So every wing back, I just move them over in the attacking section. Leaves plenty of kind of defensive back there for and all this is just for your training. If you're doing kind of unit roles, you're attacking, we'll focus on attacking duties and obviously defending kind of defensive kind of capabilities. Again, look at the dynamics, kind of think and maybe have a look at the hierarchy, see who's kind of maybe potentially good mentor. Looking at kind of obviously people like John Terode, professional personality. May get him to kind of coach a few of the kind of youngsters I brought up, so we pass on some of that kind of personality. Certainly if I have one or two strikers, I know you don't, apparently it doesn't matter if you have kind of strikers, coaching strikers or mentoring, but it's all about the personality and the traits. There's a few, Schallenberg, only 24, but still professional personality. Kaminski, centre back, maybe someone. These guys are maybe worth keeping hold of as well. Sometimes I look to move these on, but being in the league we're in, with a team that may be looking to bring a lot of youth up into the first team, having players like this may be kind of valuable if they make good mentors. Certainly with the kind of those personality style, kind of intelligent. Determination's not great, so I don't know if that may be a problem, but looking at these kind of report, you can never know obviously what the hidden attributes are, but seems to have some good solid traits, enjoys big matches, consistency, professional. Certainly worth maybe keeping all of and see how he kind of behaves as a mentor. Again, it's not an area I'm huge and expert in, but like I say, it's certainly good to keep all of these few players, certainly with these kind of personalities. So another thing to do, kind of more back to the staff, let kind of fill my coaches up as well, make sure I've got kind of, I don't know if I'm allowed 10 coaches, I'll make sure I've got 10 kind of in there. Again, I'll probably do all this off camera, get this all kind of fleshed out and up to speed, and then we'll kind of come back and see where we're at. So, but yeah, if you've got the options, one thing I don't really tend to bother is with maybe as a loan manager. I tend to do all the loans myself, try and make sure I get them good loans, me young players, or if they're good enough, they'll certainly be coming into this squad this season, if anyone stands out. Physios, again, head of sports science, make sure you get all these filled up. Kind of don't, if you've got the option to kind of have these, take it. Kind of try and get the best coaches you can afford. Certainly if you're kind of relying on youth and kind of bringing people from or players from your under-19s, your kind of second team, the better training you can get them, obviously the faster they develop, and you may kind of, unearth a kind of a good talent and hopefully will reach his potential. So the competitions, obviously we're only in the Bundesliga 2 and the DFB Pokal. Look at the Bundesliga. We are expected to win the league. I'm getting relegated last season. Like I say, I think it could be achievable. See how we start. I think the start will be key, and what happens with injuries, and see if we can bring maybe 1 or 2 players in. Certainly the kind of right back position. Looking at that, but no, I think we've got the squad to do it, and certainly give it a good go. So I think that's probably it for the time being. So looking ahead to the schedule, I think what I'll do is kind of do the transfer business off camera, coaches, etc. And then we'll come back and hopefully maybe get 1 or 2 matches in, maybe the opener match, Bundesliga, and then the DFB Pokal, and see how we get on. We'll kind of go through if I manage to make any signings or kind of looked at any kind of youth players and brought them up, but yeah, we'll come back and see what happens. Yep, so again, look at the club vision. It's a bit more in detail. This want me to sign players based in Germany. Again, using a lot of youth. Certainly in the early, I think 1 or 2 seasons, so that debt's cleared. Hopefully, if you have a good, get promoted, survive the first season of the Bundesliga, bit of luck and push for a kind of European spot, maybe in the 3rd, 4th seasons, and then kind of obviously clear that debt, and then maybe it'll do some good business. But I think our majority of our players are going to be German anyway, to be honest. Develop players using the club's youth system. I think with the kind of facilities we've got, that's going to be more than achievable. Excellent training facilities, excellent youth facilities, excellent academy coaching, and good youth recruitment. Break even the transfer market I mentioned before. Work within the wage budget. In automatic promotion, so the pressure's going to be on. It has to be achieved, it's a requirement. Be competitive in the DFB Pokal, just desired. So I think what we'll probably do, look at the schedule, come back, I'll do everything else off camera. Next episode, we'll come back for the first kind of opening match of the Bundesliga, away to Hamburg, and probably Kaiserslautern game as well. 2 big games. So, probably give us an idea of where we stand in this league, and how difficult it's going to be. So I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.